What if you had the ability to go into any market in the entire US of A and be able to, within seconds, know if that market is vibrant, if you could find buyers for your deals? Because one of the biggest challenges when doing nationwide wholesaling is when you get a property in an area that you have absolutely no clue about. And now you're trying to figure out if that property is viable. Because, yes, you could get it at a great price, but what if you cannot find any buyers? Are you wasting your time? That is the biggest obstacle that most people have. And in this video, I'm going to share with you how you can completely obliterate that obstacle today, because I'm going to show you how. Just imagine if you could go into a market and within seconds know exactly the buyers, know exactly the activity, and know without a shadow of a doubt that that deal could be sold. It was almost as if you were wholesaling God. Okay, maybe not that way. Yes, I've had a lot of coffee today, but I'm going to share with you a really amazing tool that we've been using, and you guys probably have heard me talk about. But that now they're giving an option so that you, as the beginning real estate investor, can gain access to this tool, because before it was really cost prohibitive. And the tool that I'm talking about here, and I'll share it with you my screen, is Investor Lift. And Investor Lift is a tool that we use predominantly to disposition our properties. And we do this for ourselves and investor partners. And so what I wanted to do is, first of all, I'm really excited because Investor Lift is coming out with a new version that is going to give you the capability to do amazing things. And in fact, I'm just going to share with you what those things are here. So I'm going to walk you through specifically how you can use this tool. There's a link in the description for you to get access. And then that way you can see exactly how you can take your real estate wholesaling game to the next level when it comes to nationwide wholesaling. So let's walk through this example here. I have a couple of them here. First of all, this is a property located in 1508 Oriole Street in Big Spring, Texas. Now, I had not heard of Big Spring, Texas. This is located near Lubbock, but predominantly like the main cities are Dallas and San Antonio. As you could see, this property is not definitely in a very populated area. It is near Midland, which is in Odessa. But let's say you've never seen this property before, never heard of this area. If we look at it on Zillow, we can see that this is the property here. And then if I zoom out, you can see that there is definitely activity. There's definitely properties active. If I go look at the solds over the last, say, 90 days, there is some activity. And so I'll show you some examples of another property that we would not touch because there's just not any activity at all. But in this scenario here, we would then go into, the next step would be, as you're talking with this property owner, is you would go into Investor Lift, and then you'd go directly into God mode. And in God mode, you would go ahead and type in the address of the property here. Once you type the property address here, you hit apply search, and then we're going to go ahead and zoom out here. Let's say 5 miles, just so we can get the big overview. And you can see that there are buyers here. Now I can take and put in the date range, and let's say that I can put in the date range of, let's see here, let's put that, we'll do that. So these are flips. The most important thing here is that you can see that there's activity in this area. If I go back to the flips. Now in a smaller town, we would likely go back further out in time just because there's less frequency of flips because there's less transactions. But in this scenario, it'll give you all the variety of different buyers that are here. It'll let you know that, hey, this market is viable. So this would be one that we would attempt to negotiate, get a good price, and then we know that we have buyers for this particular property. By the way, now that you have this tool, why don't you let us set up your ads for you and your campaigns, coach you on how to run them, so then that way you have all these leads coming in and you finally have the ability to find the buyers. And if worst case scenario, you get us involved and we'll partner and we will find the buyers for you. So click the link in the description to find more details. Let's take a look at another one here. This one here is in 8617 Pawnee Drive in Benton, Arkansas. Now, I deliberately have selected properties that you would have a question mark around whether or not there's buyers or not, right? If you got something in Little Rock, Arkansas, then more than likely you would say, yeah, there's definitely buyers in there. So now this is in Benton, Arkansas. Never heard of Benton, Arkansas. And then let's go ahead and look at the Zillow area here. So if I come here, I remove the boundary. I'm going to reset my filters here, just so that way I am looking at everything here appropriately. And there's quite a bit of activity in this market right now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into God mode, and let me grab the address of the property here and come into God mode here, paste it, click on that, apply search. I can see buyers here. Now in this particular search, I could do a couple things, right? I would look at this and I say, well, in this area, there's definitely buyers. But if I look at the geography here, you can see that there's a lot of different pockets of properties that are being purchased. So Benton, for example, this is where I think this one is in Benton, but it's not in the main part of town. So what I could do is I could grab an address in the central part of town here, and then I'll plug it into uh, Investor Lift here in an effort to see what other buyers there are in that closer market. So here, there's a ton of buyers. So this is definitely one that you would definitely pursue. Let's take a look at another one here that I have, and this one here is in this is in 4602 Tyler Road in Kinston, North Carolina. So if we scroll out here, you see Raleigh here on the upper left-hand corner. So this is definitely not in a major metro. So again, we're going to take and look at the Zillow listing here. Looking at Zillow, there is activity. There's activity here. There's activity in these areas. So we'll then go into here, and we'll copy that. We'll come into God mode. And this is something that you would do while you're on the phone with sellers right away. Or if you got a lot of leads, then you can look through your leads rather quickly to make a determination as to, I had the filter on too. So I should have had well, actually, I will put the filter. Let's see if we go back again. Let's see, we'll go back to here, apply search. So there's definitely activity here. Now, in this area, I would likely do the same thing as the previous one. I'd say, you know what, there might be some buyers that might come from this area. There might be some buyers that might come from, because there's a lot of pockets of activity. So in this scenario here, we could easily stretch it out to be a little bit further out. Now, in this scenario, see how it does this? So I would go in and say, you know what, I'm going to go and pick a couple properties. Like, for example, in this area here, I can pick a house like here. I can then grab the address and then put it here. And then it will be able to tell me these are additional ones that would be buyers. So this, again, would be a viable opportunity. And we can go further and further out in this particular area just because there's just activity everywhere. So let's take a look at another one. So this one is in, let's see, this one is in Hortense, Georgia. So this is a good example of a property where you have Savannah here on the upper right, you have Brunswick, you have Jacksonville to the at the south, but there's not a whole lot except for this Jessup. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that, we'll search it inside of Zillow just to get that initial read on it. We will then remove the boundary and move out further. And there's scattered, like there are sales here and here and here, but this was kind of located right smack in the middle. So in this scenario here, I would definitely look up the actual property here. This one, it's suspect, right? We would definitely have to see if we would have to look at the buy and hold activity. But this is one where, we would have to get the buyers potentially from somewhere else. If we look back at the geography, now I lost where I was with this thing. There it goes. It's right there. It's kind of tucked away. So what I would do is Hortense, and then this is Waycross. So it's about 38 minutes. I mean, it's not that close, but we would have to draw upon those buyers. But in this scenario, it's good to know this. It's good to know that, hey, this this is going to be a little bit challenging to dispo. And so you either got to get it at a really, really cheap price, or this might be one of those where you say, you know what, not, it's not going to be worth my time. So this is where the tool is really going to shine for you. So again, when you're doing online marketing like we do, where we're targeting a variety of different states, a variety of different areas where you're going to get leads in areas that you never knew even existed, then having this tool at your disposal is great, because now you're going to make sure that you put a property under contract only if you feel that there's a high degree of certainty in terms of you being able to find buyers, and you're not going to waste your time. Now, there's another thing that this version so another great feature that's been made available to you is going to be the marketplace. The marketplace is where you can list the property for sale. So it starts off with a screen like this, where you're going to take and input the information about the property that you have under contract. And you put in all the details like this here. I'm not going to make a full-blown tutorial about this, because they have tutorials on how to do this on their site. And then you're going to generate a link for a listing. Now, the great thing is with this listing, there's a couple things. Number one is you can give this page out to potential buyers. So instead of needing a website just for buyers, because you don't want to have, you have two websites. You have one for sellers and then potentially one for buyers. But on the buyer side, you could just list your properties like this, give this link to people. They will automatically be able to get all the details, including making you an offer on the site. So that's key. That's a key thing here. Now, once you list the property, then you're going to get property inquiries. Now, I took a screenshot of this because I don't want to show the information. So if I click on this property inquiries thing here that you see here with the number of 556 inquiries that we've received, this is what will show up. It'll show up a screen like this. This is an example in that property, and a few other ones, another one that we have. So this property here shows all the prospects that have requested an address on their property. So the great thing is that when they request an address, then there's a button that they click affirming to the fact that, hey, you got to, you're not going to circumvent, you're agreeing to receiving of the property address. And if you go and speak with the owners directly, then we're going to sue you. It doesn't say that like that, but you get the gist. I'm just trying to give you an idea of what it does. So then now that streamlines the process for you. So there's a ton of buyers on the platform. They're constantly on the lookout for deals. They see your deal, they reach out, and then now you're going to go ahead and reach out to them. So then now you have the capability of being able to find buyers and doing deals all across the country, because a lead will come in, you analyze that lead, you'll see whether or not there's buyers. If it has buyers around that area, then you feel confident that if you can get a good price, then you're going to be able to find the prospects. Then you're going to go and list the property. So now it's available to the marketplace. And then you from God mode, and I didn't show you, I didn't go too deep into God mode because of the fact that I don't want to reveal phone numbers, but you can dig into that and be able to see phone numbers. So there's so many other things that are available in InvestorLift, but this is going to be a game changer for you, because at the very least, it's going to give you a high degree of confidence whether or not a deal is a deal or not a deal. So click the link in the description. There's a link in order to be able to get signed up for the platform. Tell them I send you. I'm not getting paid directly from them, but they treat me nice and they give me a few things here or there, but nothing out of this world. But it's a tool that we use, so I would recommend it anyway.